sessions. The narrator moves in with Tyler, who lives in a dilapidated house with ongoing leaks.
Hello there, I'm Tatiana, an eternally exhausted artist from Spain. Welcome back to my channel where I share parts of my art journey with you. I have received a lot of requests to show more paintings done using the Neocolor 2 by Caran D'Ache. So here is another video where I show you how I like to use them. Now, you'll have to excuse the voiceover for this part of the video, but I didn't record any audio for it. I was listening to a video while I painted it, so I didn't do any talking at all. The paper I am using for this painting is a piece of Canson XL watercolor paper. In my opinion, not the best for watercoloring, but I can make it work with these water-soluble pastels. I had a landscape in mind, so I started with roughly applying the colors that I wanted to have. As you can see, I am not drawing anything, not giving precision to any of the areas, just the color which I will then proceed to blend with water. This is going to be the basis for the background. Once I have most of my areas defined, I start applying a generous amount of water, starting with the sky. I am also tilting the paper so that the pigment can flow better throughout the page. And I also use my brush to help blending it with the green glow. I then blend the colors of the ground and also tilt the page so they can run into each other. I realized that my sky area was too white, so I go in with my brush again, lifting the pigment and blending it even more. I then rinse my brush and apply clear water around it so that the blue can spread into the white area. By tilting the paper and using my brush, I can help the paint create interesting effects for the sky. Once I reach the stage in which the paper is too wet for me to continue working, I leave it to dry. Okay, now this is the most boring part because we just need to wait for it to dry. It's quite, not wet, but it is quite humid. So we have to let it dry properly so that we can draw on top of it. Okay, so now this is dry. Well, dry enough. It's a bit, not fully dry, but this is enough already. I can work on this now. This is how it's looking so far. Hope this is focusing so that you can see the details. My camera is quite noisy, so apologies for that. And what I'm seeing on my camera's viewfinder is that it's looking much darker than what it really is. Okay, so you get the idea. Let me just put this back down here. So this is being a very improvised exercise. Just I wanted to try stuff out. I had been trying all morning things like these. Now, these were old paintings, and I decided to to try my Neocolors this morning to see what I could do with them, and I am liking the way they work. I like what the sky is doing here. I wish this had gotten darker, but I might darken this area a bit. Not sure with this one, because it is nice because it's bright, but then I don't know if it's too bright. Okay, let's just work with what we have in my mind right now. I am having a hard time speaking. So I'll grab my brush, clean it. It's not focusing on what I'm doing right now, but I'm actually rinsing my brush in water and removing the excess water on my tissue. So now, before you've seen how I applied it. I just grabbed the crayons themselves and applied the paint on the paper directly. Now I'm going to do it a bit different. I'm just going to leave them like this on their box, in their box, and I'm going to be picking the color up from the tips and applying it directly here, because that way I can sort of measure how much paint I want. And so that you can see which one I'm grabbing right now, I'm grabbing this one, which is the light gray. And I'll just grab a bit. I wiped it on a piece of paper that I have here, and I'll just start applying. My brush is fairly wet. I think it needs to be darker, so I'll grab this one, which is just the gray. And again, the same thing. Wipe the excess on some paper. I am rinsing my brush, wiping the excess water, and this is just water, so I haven't applied more paint to it, so that I can soften these edges like that. I also want this one to be darker, much darker. And again, this is just clear water, but I'm just doing a thin layer of it so that I won't have any hard edges. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see it there, but just a fine touch of the water is going to move the color around again. So wipe the excess paint again, and I'll grab, I wish I had indigo. I do have indigo, but the indigo in the Caran D'Ache has a very purple tint to it. It's not this nice blue, it's more purple, and I don't like it. So I am using the Prussian blue and then mixing it with the grayish black, or sometimes I'll even mix it with the brown Van Dyke to give it a bit of a warmer tone. But let's use the Prussian blue first. So I'll grab paint from the tip again, and this time I'm not going to remove the excess paint. I need it to be very loaded, and as you can see, it's quite a bright blue in contrast with what I have here in the background. And in order to darken it more, I'll grab some of the brown Van Dyke and I'll just apply it on top. And now I'm getting more of a indigo shade that I'm liking. And of course now I'm going to get the hard edges here. But that's okay. What I'll do is I'll just wipe my brush again, grab some water, rinse it, and with a fairly wet brush, I'm just gonna sort of soften these edges like that. Can also use my hand. Okay. Because this is wet now, I don't want to apply more color right now, because otherwise I'm just going to make a mess. So I need to leave that one. It needs to dry again. But it's looking better. I think there is more contrast to it. Still not too convinced about this one. I think I need to apply some gray to it. So let's go with the... now this one was too bright. I think I'm just going to go with a gray. Just straight up gray. And I'll apply it directly like that. And already it's starting to blend. And of course the risk that I'm running here now is that I'm losing this nice, how the pigment was coming down, sort of covering it up. Well, I'm also, yeah, you can see it. Okay, I'm removing the excess paint always on my tissue. I'm rinsing it with water, removing excess water, going again for the gray. I'm applying it by dabbing it a bit. I'm not doing thick or deep long strokes, because then I'm just going to mess up the whole area, and I don't want that. I don't want to lose all of the green. I just need it to be a bit toned down. And if I keep on working on it like this, as you can see, I'm also starting to lift some of this greenish, blue greenish color that I applied here. But that's okay. I think I actually want to do that. I'm just playing around with this for now. I don't want to do two different colors, you know, like I don't want to add any warm tones to it, you know, like reds, oranges, and so on, because I want it to have an atmosphere. Again, wetting my brush, removing the excess water, and I'll grab this one, which is the olive. And I want it to be a bit thicker over here, so I'm applying more of the pigment. And it needs to have a bit of continuity, so just wet the tip a bit, remove excess water, and there is some pigment on the tip. You can't really see it, but I know there is. Trust me. I can't really explain how I do this. Not the technique in so much as the the shape that I'm giving, because it's coming to me naturally as I place the tip of the brush onto the paper. That's how it's an instant thing. So I wouldn't be able to go step by step, or the reasoning either. I could talk about the reasoning after I'm done with this bit. But basically what I'm trying to get are some organic shapes in there. And I'm also playing with the fact that some of these colors have a bit of granulation, which is one of my favorite things in the world of watercolors. I'm trying not to mess it around too much, because otherwise I'm just going to start lifting the color again, and I don't want that. Yeah, I'm liking this, and I want it to be a bit darker here. So the darker green that I have is this one, the dark green, but it's too blue for this, and I can't mix it on the paper itself. I don't want to mix it on a dish, although I could. So I'm just going to wait for it to dry, and then once it's dry, I'll either apply the olive itself directly, and I will mix it with the raw umber as well. I think I'll do like a big one, like so. Yeah. And with the tip of my brush, the other end of my brush, just try to do some organic shapes like this. Give it a bit of movement. I like that. Yeah, we'll do this one. But now, since this is dry, let's apply it dry. I am grabbing the light olive, which is the same one that I used here. So because this is dry, I'm just going to apply it by hand, like so. This one was it the malachite? Yeah. Yeah, it was the malachite green. Apply some more as well over here, just like that. Remember to just apply it on the areas that are fully dry, because if I apply it on wet or humid areas, it's just going to sort of skip, and I don't want that right now. And this is also very intuitive. Okay, now I'm gonna go with, I don't know if I should do raw umber or the sepia could also be good. The Van Dyke is going to be warmer. Let's see, which one? Trying to decide. Oh, I'll go with a raw umber. I think I would want to wet this one. Yep. See this, I plan as I go. I've rinsed my brush, removed excess water, and let's try doing this. See, I'm moving too much of the pigment, I think. So I gotta be very careful. I'll also grab some of that malachite that I just applied, like so. Trying not to overdo it. And some over here as well. And because I've moved it from here, the pigment, where is it? Umber. Just grab more pigment, lots of it. Just dab it. See, it's quite easy to mess it up. I think I've messed it up. Oh, man. And do you want to see what happens if I apply it? This area is wet, and if I apply it, it just sort of skips and makes a big mess. But I think for now it'll have to do. And with some of the malachite as well, as you can see, it skips. It does apply color, but I don't always like it. And now if any water touches that, it's just gonna run. That's why I don't like it. Okay, this one is okay now. I'm still not sure if I should just leave this as is or do another layer. That's the thing with, or at least what I find with the Neocolors, is that you can't really do a lot of layering, because it's quite easy to remove the layers underneath. I think I'm gonna go with the sepia now on this side. Rinse my brush, remove excess water, and now I'm just going to grab like a buckload of pigment, because I'm going to need it quite big. See, it's quite thick. I know, I'm messing it up. I just had to try it. And this one here. Can I grab a bit more? And now I'll rinse it again. And I'll go for my malachite. I don't even know how the audio is going to sound for this one. This is a very improvised video. I didn't even plan on filming today. I hadn't even planned on filming in quite a while. We've been dealing with some serious stuff here at home, so my mind's not been in the right headspace. I think I just had to do this, something to keep me busy. I'm liking this. I'm really liking this. So I'm also giving it a bit of, playing around with a bit of textures, you know, patterns. Again, now I'm looking at the patterns, now I'm not liking them. So I'm just going to stop with that. Just apply paint here. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's almost time for me to go feed my cats dinner, so I think I'm going, let me just take another look at it, and I'm either going to leave it there or I'm gonna do some quick things, quick edits. Let me just grab some of this olive and just some blobs there. And now I'm just going to grab a bit of water, remove excess water, just try to soften this up a bit and blend it together. I gotta be careful not to muddy it up too much. I'm right at that stage. Okay, and this part that is sort of messy here, I'm just going to leave it as is, because if I do anything on it, I'm just going to muck it up, and I'm going to be removing all the light that is coming from here. And I don't want that.
Many people go great lengths when it comes to pain avoidance. The problem is that running from pain means running from an inevitable part of life. The prospect of incurring pain makes us anxious and often leads to hedonistic decisions. That is, choosing the less painful path, even if a more painful path guarantees more.
Hello again. It's the next day, and I wanted to show you how the piece is looking. There you go. So this is the detail on the painting. There, much better. And now that I'm seeing it with different eyes, and the light is also different because it's daylight now, I am really liking the effects of the sky. And even this, it's also looking much better than yesterday. There is some cauliflowering going on here, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. It actually adds to the final piece. In little spots, I think I must have splattered some paint there, but that's all right. And yeah, so this is what I wanted to show you. It's something that you can do with Neocolors. And with that, I am going to say thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking this long. Sorry if I sound a bit all over the place, but it's we've all been going through a situation type deal at the moment, so yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this little video useful in a way. I hope it kept you company. Please remember to give it a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Bye for now.